Hi my loves, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. Today we are starting another vlog, which I am so excited about. I've been absolutely loving vlogging lately and just binging reads with you guys. It's honestly just so much fun. So today we are starting another vlog, and this is pretty much just a mood reading as many books as possible in a week and as many as I can get through. The first book we're going to be starting with this vlog is Lightlark by Alex Astor. This is probably one of my most anticipated reads, or not really anticipated, like intimidating reads on my TBR. Obviously this is like taken over BookTok for years now, and I feel like I am so late to the game getting onto this one. I was just honestly scared. I was so scared to read it before I was like ready to. I've heard so many mixed things about this book, and because of that I'm just really scared to go into it. But I think, like, you know what, I just decided this is the time, so we're going to start this today, later today, and I'll talk a little bit more about that then. But this is going to be our first book for the video. I also have some more romantasy reads I want to pick up. I have a few little romances. I have an early arc from one of my like favorite authors, one of my most anticipated reads for next year, but I got it early. There's so many like books I am so excited to read in this vlog. So this is just going to be me getting very excited over books for like however long this vlog goes for, but I thought I'd take you guys along with me because why not? But before we get into that, I wanted to quickly talk about my book journaling, because as a reader I book journal all the time, and my favorite way to book journal is through Kittl. I talked about Kittl before. I use them on a daily basis. I absolutely love them. They're the absolute best way to design aesthetic journals, and you can either print them out or have them on a digital journal. I do both, but as a digital content creator I love to use Kittl for all my media that I create. So for my YouTube thumbnails, for my Instagram posts, for my TikTok posts, I love using them to create aesthetic collages that suit my personal brand. With their templates, they are so beautiful already, but you can personalize them to your own brand. I like to add stickers to mine, and then that just kind of speaks to my audience better, but it literally makes creating content so much easier, and it honestly makes me so much more inspired and motivated to create more beautiful content for you guys. Every YouTube thumbnail you see of mine is pretty much made through Kittl. It's one of the most useful platforms you can have as a content creator and just as a creative kind of book girly. Because Kittl is just absolutely amazing, we have also created a discount code for you, which is frey25. I'll leave it on the screen, or you can use the link in my bio. This gets you 25% off all paid plans, but there is also a free option if you don't want to commit to a paid plan, if you just want to test Kittl out. I highly recommend the paid plan though. It gives you access to absolutely everything. And thank you so much to Kittl for sponsoring this portion of the video. I am just about to have a shower and then snuggle up and read Lightlark by Alex Astor. It's been a very anticipated and honestly scary read for me because I've heard so many mixed things about this. I do not know if I'm going to either absolutely love it or absolutely hate it, so very nervous going in. This is my second book by Alex Astor. I've got an arc for Summer in the City, which comes out next year, and it's her first romance novel. So I read that last month and I did vlog it as well. I did enjoy it. I did think the ending was a little bit rushed, but it was nothing crazy. Like, it was just a fun kind of like 2000s feeling chick flick. I'm just so nervous to go into it, but I'm so curious. I'm hoping I can kind of just like sit down and binge this tonight, because it is romantasy. Like, I do think that's possible. I don't know if I'll finish it all, but like I do think it's possible to just sit down and binge. Yeah, I'm gonna go have a shower, get cozy, and then we're gonna dive into this. Made quite a bit of progress, and I'm very happy. At like not quite halfway, I am 160 pages into Lightlark, chapter 23. I did not expect it to be this good. If I'm going to be completely honest, did not expect it to be this good. Like, I was expecting, I don't know what I was expecting. I feel like just something like mediocre and just very like done before, and nothing like mind-blowingly different. Now, this isn't mind-blowingly different, but it is quite unique. It's quite unique, I'm gonna be honest. I really like the whole challenge aspect. So if you for some reason haven't heard of Lightlark, it is basically about this island called Lightlark, which appears every 100 years, and it's only around for 100 days. And with its appearance, it gives a chance for, I don't want to say the human race, but the people of this world to fight and break the deadly curses that each of their kind of families hold. So there's different curses and powers for each different individual kind of group, like community. So like, for example, the starling, they all die at 25 no matter what, and their powers are they can harness energy from the stars. And like the mooning, the curse is the sea becomes deadly every full moon, and the powers are control of water, healing abilities, and the power to freeze. So there's all these different type of magic people within this world, and they go to Lightlark to fight off the curses that they all possess so that they can live just like a normal life. That is what our main protagonist is doing. She is competing in Lightlark, the competition, the tournament, whatever you want to call it. So we do have like a kind of tournament aspect, which is one of my favorite tropes in a fantasy book. And I don't know, I'm really liking it. I feel like because I went in with such just not like low expectations, but kind of like, oh, okay, like I'll see what I think. I'm really liking it. I feel like I did that with Quicksilver recently and ended up loving it. And I think just going in, not building myself up, and like whenever I go into a book that I think I'm going to absolutely love, usually it doesn't turn out that way. So I think going into a book with like little to just kind of okay expectations, I think that really, really helps. I think it really does. So I don't know, I'm liking it a lot. I can definitely suss out who the love interest is. This is a romantasy, but I have heard rumors that this is a love triangle. I'm not a love triangle girl. I really don't like love triangles, and if that's the case, but like it's fine, it's fine. As long as she chooses the right guy, in the end, it's fine. I know this is a trilogy. Although I think there are rumors of it being more than a trilogy. I'm not entirely sure though. The third one only just came out the other day. So if I like it, I can just binge this entire trilogy, which is great for me. So far, so good. I'll update you later. Okay, so I have quite the update for you. It's been a little bit and I have read a lot. First of all, updating you on Lightlark, because when I tell you I could not put this book down and I just absolutely binged it and completely, I am so sorry, forgot to update you, but I'll give you every single one of my thoughts now. This definitely exceeded my expectations. I feel like I went into this with such low expectations just because of all the mixed reviews I've seen. I've seen a lot of people really, really not enjoy this and just say it's kind of just like your typical kind of romantasy. And whilst it is definitely like nothing, you know, extremely unique, I do feel like it's a really fun romantasy. Like I feel like it's definitely worth the read and definitely like worth forming your own opinion, because I personally really, really enjoyed this. I thought it was so much fun. I really like the tournament aspect in this. Like I think I said before, I can't remember if I did, but if there's a tournament, I'm going to be reading it and like I'll kind of automatically enjoy it. If it's a well thought out, kind of intricate kind of tournament, I'm going to enjoy it. I can't help it. And that's definitely what this was. As I said, it wasn't something like incredibly unique that has me like questioning everything and all that, but it was very fun. It was a very fun little read. I was definitely right in calling the fact that this has a love triangle, and it's kind of like the center of the whole trilogy apparently, which I don't know how that's gonna go for me. Love triangles famously annoy me. I don't mind if there's one love interest and then we kind of morph into another love interest just because the character grows, the love interest grows, like, and it just like they kind of grow apart. I don't mind that. When the main character is constantly torn between these two very different people and like love them in both different ways. Now, I don't know if she loves these guys yet, but it's book one. But like if that's how it's going to progress, that will definitely annoy me a little bit. I am definitely a grim girl. I am definitely a grim girl. Like the other love interest, I'm just not connecting to. I just kind of didn't love his personality. And I will say the plot twist definitely got me at the end. I didn't see that coming. So I feel like it was very good. It was like, honestly, the ending felt a little bit rushed, but apart from that, I feel like it was okay. It was good. Like I'm giving it 4 stars, I think. Like it was a solid fantasy romance read, and it was definitely YA, and there was definitely a lot more tension and chemistry than there was spice, which I really appreciate in my fantasy books. It was unexpectedly good. And I feel like you should definitely read it to form your own opinion. I am definitely going to continue the series. Like that's how much I liked it. Like I definitely will be continuing the series, honestly, probably very soon. I have also started my next read and it is on my Kindle. And that is like, I am so excited about this one. This one is Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. Now I entered my Abby Jimenez era this year. I started reading her books, I think back in like April, and have worked my way through her books. So she kind of writes interconnected standalones, at least some of her books are like written in the same world. So I've read kind of the 3 that are set in the same world. Part of Your World, Yours Truly, and Just for the Summer. I loved every single one so much and just fell in love with her writing. And then I saw on NetGalley that you could request Say You'll Remember Me, which is coming out I think in March next year, like early next year, and it's a new novel, and I was like, oh my god. So I requested it and I got approved a few days ago, and so of course I need to go read this like immediately. So that is what we have started. I'm about 20% in. It doesn't have a cover, sadly, because it's an ARC, but I'm about 20% in, and I don't have too many thoughts. I feel like what's different for this one than for the other Abby Jimenez books that I've read is that I went into the other ones with really like kind of no expectations, just because like I'd heard about them a bit, but I hadn't heard about them too much. But now that I know what Abby Jimenez is capable of, and like Yours Truly literally changed my life, one of my favorite books I have ever read. Now that I know what she's capable of, I've kind of like, I'm going in with some expectations, and I really hope they're going to be met. And I feel like that's quite like, it's a nerve-wracking thing going in with expectations. So far, I really like the characters. I love the setting. Basically, we are following a veterinarian who has set up his own practice. And one day a woman comes in with a stray cat she's found on the side of the road, and he's like, look, there is like little chance of survival. They could go get like $10,000 surgery, but other than that, they're not going to survive. And if you want to do that for some stray cat you've just picked up, like you can, but like I don't, you know, it's probably not worth it. The girl is like completely baffled by this, and she's like, are you serious? Like it's a life, it's worth it. And she fundraises all the money to get this stray cat surgery. And that kind of leaves the veterinarian shocked. He's like, wow, okay, she genuinely cares. She's a very unique kind of person. And they just immediately have like instant chemistry. That is how it starts. I'm not going to say any more because obviously there's something else that kind of pushes this story a little bit more. And I will say that main kind of plot point, I just don't want to say it in case you don't want spoilers. And like, I feel like it's not a big spoiler, but still, that main kind of plot point is definitely bugging me a little bit. Don't see how it can be resolved. And I know that like, obviously we've got a whole book. Yeah, I'm a little bit confused with that. But those are my very initial thoughts. I'm just going to keep reading and hopefully I'll get like a good amount into this. Okay, it's obviously the next day and I have pretty much just been binging Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez because like, I don't know, something about Abby Jimenez's books, like I always will. However, I will say it's definitely not hitting the same as her past books. But in saying that, I'm about 60% through at the moment and it is definitely hitting close to home. So maybe it's kind of the fact that I'm like, oh, I feel a little bit uncomfortable reading about this because it's so honest and so true and so relatable to me and it's kind of overwhelming. Maybe it's that, I don't know, but it is a little intense reading about it. It kind of feels like I'm reading about myself, but like that's not unusual for an Abby Jimenez book. I will say that. I am loving it. I'm sorry if that angle changed a tiny bit. My camera died, but we're back. But yeah, I feel like I am really liking it. It's just, it's kind of different feeling to her other books, but like it's still great. I love our main male protagonist. Something that I love so much about this is the fact that he isn't a billionaire and he doesn't just shower her in gifts. Like he actually has like meaning, like obviously like gifts is also meaningful. Like, whatever your love language is, like that's fine. And if like you have money, obviously you're going to be like spending it on the person you love most. But you know, not everyone has like billions of dollars. And it's really realistic in this because he's a veterinarian. He doesn't have thousands and thousands of dollars to just spend. He has his own clinic. And so the way he shows that he loves her is so, it's just relatable and it's more realistic and it's just wonderful. Honestly, it's really just wonderful. He just acts of service, little things, showing that he loves her, like that kind of stuff. I absolutely love. And I think it just makes the love feel more real. It makes it feel more wholesome. Don't get me wrong. I love reading about a billionaire romance. Like we'll always read one of them, but this one just feels a little bit more like a contemporary fiction rather than a romance. Like they both have so many life things they're working through at the moment and they're just working through them together whilst also like falling in love with each other. But also there's other complications kind of making it really hard for that to happen. I don't know, there's just something about Abby Jimenez and the way she writes that is so realistic. It really just grabs you and it's like, whoa, this is like reading about myself. Like I feel like she always has one of her books you will relate to. Like I guarantee one of her books you will just see yourself in. And that's a very unique thing and not a lot of authors can do that. So for that reason, I do love Abby Jimenez. And I don't think this is gonna take me very long. I don't know how long this is, like because the arc doesn't have page numbers. So I might just try and sit down and finish it now and let you know my final thoughts. I just finished and it was so sweet. I actually want to cry. I don't know why. Like it's not sad, nothing sad. Well, sad stuff happens because it's life. But nothing like really sad happened. Like the ending was great. But I like want to cry for some reason because I've just finished one of my most anticipated reads for next year. I'm so grateful that I got that opportunity. But like the only thing was it was a little bit hard to read because the formatting was really weird. It like converted weird onto my Kindle. But apart from that, like Abby does it every single time. I don't know what she does. Something about her is just, she is like such an incredible author. I feel like I'm definitely gonna have to sit on this one for a rating for a while because it definitely didn't hook me as much as like Yours Truly and Just for the Summer. It kind of felt like the same as Part of Your World. That's how I felt whilst reading it. Like I was definitely hooked. I was definitely invested in the story. I was definitely connecting to the story and to the characters. Like I was definitely rooting for the characters, but it didn't have the same emotional impact on me that Yours Truly and Just for the Summer did. I think it's definitely going to be like a 4.25, 4.5 stars, like definitely really high up. I feel like Abby just can't go wrong. It just, something about it I just didn't connect to as much as do you know what though? I feel like a lot of it was because I went in with expectations this time, because just for the summer and yours truly went in with zero expectations just because it was so out of my comfort zone. So like not what I'd typically read, or at least not what I'd typically rate very highly. When you go in with little expectations like that, I feel like it just hits so different. And when it just surprises you, it's really, I don't know, it's shocking. So I feel like going into this one with expectations definitely changed a little bit, but it was still good. Like it was still really, really good. I am still so glad I got to read it early. I'm so thankful I got to read it early. Like that's just crazy to me. So for our next book, I have a few kind of lined up. Hang on, let me go get the first physical book. Okay, so the first physical book I am definitely going to be starting either today or tomorrow is The Rogue King by Abigail Owen. So Abigail Owen also wrote The Games Gods Play, which has been one of like my top romantasy reads of the year. And I recently got sent this series. They've been republished, like this series has been republished. It is a romantasy series. I think it's a paranormal romance. We've got mythical creatures. I'm pretty sure we've got dragons. Like, honestly, I'm so excited. So this is one I'm definitely going to be starting soon. It isn't too long. It's 360 pages. So nothing crazy, and I'm just so excited to get into another fantasy series. Hopefully if I like this, I can just binge it. Although I do really want to read Nightbane as well soon, but I want to read this first because some diversity. And then also on my Kindle, just because I kind of like having like 2 books going at once if I feel like it. It's rare. When my life and my head isn't as busy, I like to have a Kindle book and then a physical book. That doesn't happen very often, but right now, it's happening because I've got a few days at home. I am also reading, I don't know if this is going to count, but I am reading The Exception to the Rule, or I think they are Valentine's Day short stories. So Christina Lauren, Abby Jimenez, who else wrote it? There's basically a collection of short romance novellas from all the kind of classic romance authors. So we've got one by Ashley Poston, one by, as I said, Abby Jimenez, Sally Thorne. But basically there is a bunch of little novellas just on Kindle Unlimited. So they're all like anywhere between like 70 to 150 pages each. They're all really quick and they're just all these little love stories. It kind of feels like reading like Love Actually or Valentine's Day. Love Actually is like one of my favorite movies of all time. Like not just Christmas movies, like one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm actually so excited to start watching Christmas movies again. Like you have no idea. In case you are a Christmas crazy person like me, comment below your top 3 Christmas movies because I love to hear this. My personal, I have 4 because like the bottom 2, like the third just ties because it's impossible to choose. Basically, Love Actually, number 1, always number 1. The Holiday, number 2, always. And then 3 like ties between Home Alone and Christmas with the Cranks. Something about those 2 movies, like they're just childhood movies to me and I love them. They are so funny. I put them on every single year. They're just the best. They're the best. Anyway, sorry for that little diversion, but let me know what your favorite Christmas movies are. So I am reading The Exception to the Rule at the moment. Well, about to start. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be good. It's just a cute little quick romance. I think it's only like 100 pages or something. It's good. It's cute. I'm excited to read it. I'm literally going to either sit down now or probably sit down a bit later to read it. I just downloaded them at the moment because they popped into my head. And my friend Emily, who you probably know if you know me, she recommended to read these. Like she's the one who introduced me to these. And I was like, you know what? That's great. This is also a great way to get up your reading goal. 4 to 6 books. Like you can just get quickly by reading like 100 pages each. It's just so like rewarding. I don't know. I love that feeling. Anyway, I've got quite a busy day ahead today. I'm going and hanging out with my best, it's like a great day. I'm going and hanging out with my best friend and we're going shopping. But apart from that, then hopefully tonight I'll be able to get home and read some of this. And then tomorrow, whole day to read. Do you know how excited I am for that? The answer is very excited. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. It is later. Actually, it's a few days later if I'm going to be honest. I don't know when I last filmed because I have had a busy few days, but I have gotten some reading done, so that's the main thing. And that means it's time for like this massive little chat reading update slash I'm going to sit back and read and then just continuously update you whilst I'm reading at the moment. Number 1, I have been reading on my Kindle those little novellas I told you about. So I read The Exception to the Rule by Christina Lauren, and then I also read The Worst Wingman Ever by Abby Jimenez, Rosie and the Dreamboat by Sally Thorne. So I've read 3 so far. far. 2 out of 3 of those authors I've read before. As we've established, Abby Jimenez is one of my favorite authors of all time. And then Christina Lauren, I do really like them as they're like a joint authors. I do really like their books. Like they wrote The Unhoneymooners and I think they wrote like The Love Experiment and stuff. And I really like them. I think they're really good. I actually really enjoyed that one. I think it's actually my favorite out of the 3 I've read so far. I'm so sorry, Abby. It was really fun. It was basically like this chain of emails, and one Valentine's Day, like years and years ago, this student accidentally sent another student an email thinking it was his professor asking for like an extension, and she got back and was like, you actually emailed me, this is the professor's email, but hey, next I got a little love letter on Valentine's Day. And then they start this tradition by just emailing each other once a year, like once every Valentine's Day, as a love letter to each other. And like there's nothing, like it just starts really platonic, but then it kind of evolves into more, and I just thought that was so cute. And I think it was literally like 100 pages. It was so little. Worst Wingman Ever by Abby Jimenez was even less. It was really good. It was a little bit emotional, honestly. Like I feel like Abby's books are always emotional. And even in like, I think it was a 70-page book. Even in a 70-page book, she makes me get connected to the characters. Then Sally Thorne, I've never read anything by her before. I've obviously seen her in like so many bookstores because she's so popular. But this was Rosie and the Dreamboat. I didn't mind this one, but I didn't love it. It was mainly, I just didn't love the characters. I didn't love the situation. Rosie and her sister basically went to a spa, and then Rosie got stuck in like this kind of, it's not like a sauna, like a pool type situation that like closes over. It was meant for your relaxation, and like a fireman has to be called and help her escape. Like cute scenario, but I don't know, the characters didn't really do it for me. So it kind of goes like best to worst in a way so far. I'm probably gonna read another 2. I think I have, there's I think 6 in this series. I've got 3 more to go. Anyway, they're my little updates on them. I've just been kind of going by them, like very cute little novellas if you need something. And I don't know if I said this before, but these are the Valentine's Day ones. I thought I downloaded the Christmas ones, but there are Christmas ones out either now or very soon. So I want to read them soon as well. And then an update on my other book. I'm about 150 pages into The Rogue King, and I am really enjoying it. This is so much fun. This is like definitely going to be one of my new kind of romantasy obsessions. Now, is it incredibly written and some really unique plot and very political or anything like that? No, it really isn't. But it is such a fun, just like romantasy to read. It is a little bit spicy. They've already had a spice scene. So if you're not into that, I would stay away from it. But like I personally am not really into a lot of spice, but like I'll read it and I'll skim past it because I'm more interested in the story, if that makes sense. I will always choose a slow burn over like a quick enemies to lovers, if that makes sense. But in saying that, this is really good. This is so fun so far. Basically, the world we are set in has different types of shapeshifters, which is just so cool. I feel like if you like Fourth Wing, like you will love this series. But our 2 main characters, the first one is Brand, and he can shapeshift into a dragon. And then we also have Kazia, I think I'm pronouncing that right, and she can shapeshift into a phoenix, and that is incredibly rare. So Brand is kind of keeping her undercover the whole time. But we also have like vampires, shapeshifters into wolves, all that kind of stuff. It is so much fun. It's kind of giving like paranormal romance, if you know what I mean. It's just really fun, like really easy. It's just kind of like everything mythical in a fantasy romance book. And personally, I love that. Like I am having such a fun time reading this. I'm gonna sit down and read like as much as I can now, honestly. Hopefully I'll get close to finishing it. As I said before, this is definitely not like an incredibly unique romantasy, but oh my god, it's fun. And I love our main protagonist, like our main guy protagonist. He is good. He's very quiet and kind of like that mysterious type, which I haven't read about in a while. Like I always read about the witty, confident people, but I do love a good mysterious like male protagonist, honestly. I do love that. I finished The Rogue King by Abigail Owen. I have a lot of thoughts. Honestly, I also have my matcha, so we can just have a little debrief. So I have a lot of thoughts. First of all, I did really like it, and I'm definitely going to be continuing this series. Like, it was really fun. I don't think it was anything revolutionary. I'll just say that. Like, I don't think it was some incredible wonderful, like, oh my god, this is going to change my life kind of thing, but it was definitely fun. It's honestly just one of those books that you just, it kind of feels like almost like Twilight vibes, if you know what I mean, but like better, like written better. Like there was definitely good writing and just, I don't know, just fun. It kind of just feels like a guilty pleasure to me. If you like Fourth Wing, I feel like you'll love this. This is spicier than Fourth Wing, like definitely know that. Actually, I'd say it was a similar level spice, and the spice kind of felt like it was just thrown in there. Like I feel like it didn't feel like, you know, when like, see, the thing is, I love my spice in books if it's a big lead up, if there's a lot of chemistry between the two characters, and then finally, like, there's just like, they can't take it anymore. Like kind of things like that. Like, you know, enemies to lovers, slow burn, all that kind of stuff. Like I will always love a slow burn rather than unnecessary scenes. And this felt a little bit unnecessary. Some of it, I was just like, why are they doing this? It kind of felt like that for a little bit. But apart from that, I did really enjoy it. Apart from that, I really, really liked it. There's something about Abigail Owen's writing that's just really digestible. Like it's so easy to just kind of read. It's just fast paced. It's just really easy to follow, that kind of stuff. So I feel like I'll always appreciate her for that. And she's definitely going to become one of my go-to fantasy romance authors. I did like The Games Gods Play more than this, but like this was still really fun. Like in me saying all that, the plot was good. I love mythical creatures. Like if there's mythical creatures in books, I always love reading about that. So for that reason, I do think it's worth your read. I really, really do. If you like anything like Zodiac Academy, Fourth Wing, Phantasma, anything like that, I feel like you'll really like this. Like it did give all that kind of vibe. It was like on the edge of like a dark fantasy romance, but like not quite dark, I would say. But I'm very excited to continue this series. There's 4 books, so 3 more books after this, and they're all pretty like deep, like they're all pretty short, which is kind of fun. So it means I can just binge read them. So in our next continuing series in the middle of, hopefully I can finish one of these. I've got a lot of series, and now I've got to continue Lightlark as well. See, I keep starting more series, even though I'm in the middle of like so many. But finishing this, I think brings us to the end of this vlog. It was originally going to be a week. I don't know that this was a week. I think it was a week and a half. So it's like a weekish. But I think that brings us to the end of the vlog. You know the drill, my loves. If you have stayed till here, comment a fairy emoji. I don't do this every video. I don't know whether I should do it every video. I've told you before, when I see that you guys watch the end of the video, it makes me so happy. It makes my entire day. So if you have stayed till here, comment a fairy emoji or just say hi. I love speaking to you guys. I don't know if I should do that at the end of every video, but I've been doing it at the end of my vlogs. Thank you so much for watching this entire video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got some good book recommendations out of it. And I will see you in my next video.